my name's James Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The BBC is reporting that Experian, the credit rating agency, are just about to launch a new feature that will totally rip up how your credit score is worked out. And they're looking to include rental payments on your credit file. Now, this could be an absolute goldmine for landlords to get good quality tenants. It could be a disaster if you're a bad tenant. But on the flip side, if you're a good tenant and you pay your bills on time, this could be the game changer that gets you to the top of all those hundreds of applicants that are potentially applying for some properties in the UK right now. So in this video, we're going to unpack the pros, the cons, what the new rules are, what the new rating system is going to be, and how this could impact the property market in a big, big way. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've just hit 50,000 subscribers, and by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, property investing tip, interest rate news, which is going to be tomorrow, and much, much more. And before we jump into this, do make sure that you smash like, tick or like, do something to the like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really does help the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So it's not often that Experian or other agencies change the way things are worked out. In fact, I haven't heard of any changes for a long time. I've had property since 1999. Unfortunately, this afternoon, I've just been at one of my properties having to clean an oven, which I haven't done for about 20 years because I've got a tenant moving in tomorrow and no one available to help. So I had to get my hands dirty myself. Anyway, during that time, since I've had a property, I can't recall the credit ratings changing really much at all. But this is a big update. And so the BBC is reporting that this is what Experian are rolling out. And this will be really, really good. Because right now, landlords don't know if tenants are good or bad all the time. Sometimes you can figure it out via referencing and using an estate agent, checking references and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes, as you'll see in the comments on this channel, bad tenants slip through. Now, one thing I did make a video on last week, which has been really popular, more than 20,000 people watched that, so go and watch that if you didn't. And that's the fact that removing Section 21 and then making landlords have to use a Section 8 is bad for tenants. And the reason for that is that lots of landlords would have used a Section 21. Maybe you were in rent arrears with the landlord. And you know what? They just said, I can't be bothered to chase this up. And they just let it go. Now, with the Section 8, the new way to evict, or the old way, the more formal way, the more difficult way, that means that you're going to get a CCJ at the end of it. And then when you go for a new property, you're going to really struggle. Now, what you'll also struggle with is getting a council property, because it's going to show up that you got yourself evicted and it was your fault. So you're going to be right down the bottom of the council waiting list. So this could be a problem. Now, what's also interesting is a lot of people right now, we don't know whether a tenant was good with their rental payments. And you can take a reference, but I've been a landlord for 20 years. I've never been asked by an old tenant for a reference, not once. And so new landlords that have got my old tenants have no idea if the tenant paid on time or not. And Experian is looking to change that. And that's because of pressure from places like Generation Rent and all these places that say, look, some tenants are good, they pay their bills on time, and they struggle to get a mortgage. So this is the goal here, is to show that the biggest, most important bill is paid on time. Now, the best credit score you can get at the moment is 999 with Experian, and they're looking to change that up to 1250 as the maximum credit score going forward. Now, they are removing some of the categories that they've got that you could fall into on that rainbow sort of gauge that they've got because they feel they're negative and not great for people. So they're removing two of the categories, and those categories are poor and very poor. I know you're going to hit me in the comments for that one. But that's what they're removing. Maybe it makes people feel all warm inside if they don't have it showing poor on their thing. So what are they replacing them with? Well, the new levels are going to be excellent is going to be the top one. I think that's what you've got now. Then you've got very good. Then you're going to have good. Then you're going to have fair. And then the last one's going to be called low. Still not that positive, is it? You got a low credit rating or a poor credit rating. That's what they're going to change that to there. And so what happens is that the tenants need to opt in for this. So I know you guys in the comments are going to say, well, this isn't very good because why would you opt in? Well, look, if you're serious and you are a good tenant and you do make sure that you pay your bills and everything on time, then you'll opt in for this. And this will become more common. More people will opt in. Now, here's an example of this. One person commented yesterday saying they listed a property, I think it was in London. No, it was Coventry. So if that was you, comment below. And you said that you got a property listed, and in about 48 hours, if I recall, you got around 140 tenants applying. That's a lot. And that means there's a lot of work for you to filter through these. Now, if you could get these applications and you could check the ones that have got a good credit score or an excellent credit score from Experian when you're doing the referencing, that helps you get the best tenant. Now, those tenants, when they apply, they'll be able to put something in the box. They'll put a little comment. And so if they're smart, which you can say in the application, I think you will be able to say this. It could say along the lines of, as long as you're not discriminating, that's important. So I would imagine in your advert that you could say along the lines of, if you have an Experian credit score that includes rental payments, please let me know in your application, right? So that doesn't exclude the people that don't have it, but it includes the ones that do have it. And so that will help you with your filtering process. And so you can check these people's credit ratings, and this will give you a better idea. Now, this will take some time to roll out for people to get this on there. And you can tell your tenants, and that might help also keep them in line as well. So when you get a new tenant, there's nothing stopping you giving them a welcome pack and saying, here's something that's really smart for you to do. Maybe you want to get a property or buy a property in the future, then register yourself to have your rental payments monitored on your Experian. Now, if they're doing that of their own volition and that happens, they're going to be more likely to pay you on time. I'm sure you would agree with that. They're going to be more wanting to keep that credit score good. And maybe there'll be a tight month. And sometimes there's a tight month and the tenant has to choose. Am I going to pay my credit card, which hits my credit score? Or am I going to pay my rent? And right now, some people are paying their credit card over their rent. Now you will become a primary bill, maybe to pay you and the credit card and miss someone else's payment. You will become more of a priority. So I think this is good for tenants, because I think if you're a tenant and your goal is to eventually buy a house, this will give you some more credibility. You'll be able to go to your mortgage application, and there will be lenders eventually that take this into consideration, and you can go there and you can say, look, I paid my rent on time for 2 years. Now it's hard to prove that. Maybe you can get a reference from an estate agent, but it's hard to prove that, right? This will show conclusively that you have paid your rent on time every single month. So this is a win, I think. And I think if you make your tenants aware of it, I think that you'll get more compliant tenants paying rent on time. Because if they start good and they pay on time for a year, they're not going to want to miss a payment. Like people don't want to miss credit card payments. Some people just don't care. But I also think that, as I gave you that example, when you do the application, as long as you're not discriminating, you're just saying, look, if you did by chance happen to have your Experian data, let me know in your application. And that will give you a short list of people that you could look at. So that's interesting. I think this is quite good. And I think this is good for landlords. I think the Section 8 stuff, eventually, we'll get a list of all the people that have CCJs. More people are going to get CCJs. So that will get rid of the riffraff. And yeah, we won't have a tenants database, but this is kind of helping. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Look, I want to give you an update. So we are launching something. The problem is there's more than 400 videos. It's taking way longer than I thought, because when they go up into the members area, they get rendered, which is taking ages. So we're having to delay the launch until early next week, meaning the VIP list is still open for now. So the VIP list will give you access and all the updates before it launches to anybody else. There is a delay. I don't want to launch something that's not ready. And so that's why we've got that delay there. But by joining the VIP list in the description, in the first comment, you'll get access to all the details. You're not obligated to buy anything, but at least you'll know, and you'll get the best price we ever do on the new content that we've got coming out. So join that now. Do smash like, do subscribe, do check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.